Yeah, look, guys. I mean, I've heard about the Jake Paul ranking and now the subsequent review of the ranking. Let me just say this. Listen, I've been around boxing my whole life. I used to memorize the top 30 of the WBC. The IBF had a top 12, and the WBA had a top 10. You find fighters in there that don't have any accolades all the time. From the mere popularity alone of Jake Paul and the things he's done, beating Anderson Silva, the greatest MMA fighter of all time, beating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a former middleweight champion, and then many other things, coming really close with Tommy Fury. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving him a number 14 in the WBA. So I find it very funny that everybody's up in arms about it, but this is politics of fighting sports as it is. I think Jake Paul's done an amazing job getting to where he is. The first time I saw him fight was against Tommy Fury. And I noticed very conspicuously he still wasn't looking where he was punching. But one of the things about combat sports, guys, is it's not just all skill. Like, some of it is raw ability. And what Jake has, he's very athletic, right? He was a high school / college wrestler, and he's got a lot of power in his fists. He also drops that right hand really bad, but so do I, and I've been fighting for as long as I can remember. But listen, there's nothing wrong with giving him a top 15 ranking at this point. And you know what? I'd love to see the fight with him against Badou Jack, an older cruiserweight champion. And cruiserweight used to be kind of a retread division, right? And Badou Jack, I think, did more things at super middle and some other classes below than cruiser. But that's what will happen. Guys with a lot of talent will move up as they're sort of ending their careers and they're getting a little heavier. They can't make those lighter weights. So I would love to see Jake do that, and I'd love to see Jake win. I mean, what is anyone going to say if Jake knocks Badou Jack or beats Badou Jack? And I don't think they can say anything. I mean, I think Jake would be a world champion, and he did it on his own terms. Look, the politics of life itself gets on us, right? We all probably live in corporate America. That's probably a nightmare for most of you. I know it is for me, unless you're one of the chosen darlings. And sport is no different. This game that we play, if you're in the UFC, if you're Dana White's favorite, you're good to go. If you're not, you're screwed, and this is just how life is. As far as the rankings go, I got no problem with a number 14 ranking for Jake Paul. He's been floating around the fight game for the last 4 years, making a lot of noise, beating everybody in front of him, proving doubters wrong. And so for me, I think he's earned his spot there. Does he have flaws? Of course he has flaws. Guess what? Every fighter has flaws. I remember when Louis Lamelli fought Johnny Duplessis, both undefeated fighters, and Lamelli beat Duplessis. And you say that guy's good? I've never heard of him. And then Lamelli fought Pernell Whitaker for the world title. Did anybody remember him? No. I remember when Whitaker said, I want to be ranked at welterweight, and they ranked him number 1 at welterweight. He never fought there before. So look, there's nothing wrong with Jake Paul getting a ranking. I think it's cool, and I would love to see him in a world title fight. I don't think he beats Ramirez, though. Everybody, read my book, Warrior of the